I wrote a play. This is the aesthetic. It's called Frailty, Thy Name is Woman, and it is an exploration of misogyny in Shakespeare through some scene study and some extra little spice that I've added, and I'm really excited to share it. I've been working on this play for almost over a year now, and I got the copyright for it like a couple of months ago, which is crazy. I own my play, but I haven't really said anything about it because I was really scared to share it. Like, sharing your work is really scary, but I got to the point where I was like, this is doing no good just sitting on my computer. Theater is meant to be shared, so I'm sharing it with you. It is on New Play Exchange today, and if you don't have New Play Exchange and you want to read it, just let me know. But it would really mean a lot if you checked it out, and I really hope you like it. It's called Frailty, Thy Name is Woman. Today I went to the 25th anniversary teach-in at Shakespeare's Globe. These are wine stains that are on my coat from when I was in the yard the other night at Much Ado About Nothing and Benedict yeeted some wine at me. I simply will never be washing this coat again and will treasure it for the rest of my life. Anyways, we had a series of guest lecturers today and a Q&A with the Michelle Terry. I was beside myself the entire time. Happy birthday, Shakespeare's Globe.
You know what people are going to say.
Oh boy, do I have a story for you. The year is 2018, and I am going to Connecticut for my University of Hartford audition. I leave school early to get on a flight to go to Hartford, but of course it's delayed because it's snowing because it's January in Connecticut, right? Okay, the flight is delayed because it's snowing, we get in really late. No restaurants are open, like, whatsoever for any food. No fast food, no nothing. It's snowing. I'm from Florida. My mom's not driven in the snow in years. She gets a rental car that is a Range Rover so she can drive in four-wheel drive in the snow because we are who we are. And nothing's open, so we just go straight to the hotel. Mind you, this is Friday night. I have not eaten anything since Thursday night dinner because high school started at 7 a.m. So, like, why would I eat breakfast? And so I left high school early, then went straight to the airport. Was like, I'll just eat when I get to Hartford. Like, it's fine. It's whatever. Like, I don't want to, whatever. I'm really, really dumb. Going through some food problems at the time. It's a long story. Not trying to get that vulnerable. Anyways, the next morning, get up at 5:30 a.m. You know, we have the routine. You'll develop a routine as you go through college auditions. It's like a thing, you have to stick to it. Get up at 5:30 a.m. It takes a very long time for my hair to dry. I have to do my vocal warm-ups, get dressed, do all the makeup. Well, my mom actually has to do my makeup because, like, I'm incompetent. Anyways, it's probably like 6 a.m. at this point. I'm like half dressed in a leotard and tights and doing my vocal warm-ups, and my mom is doing my makeup in the bathroom. And I'm like leaning against a wall and she's like doing my eyeshadow, and all of a sudden, I'm like, I can't see anything. I can't hear anything. I'm going down. I pass out on the bathroom floor. It's like, at this point, an hour and a half till my audition, I am on the ground unconscious. I, like, get up, I go, and I'm, like, flopping on the bed in the hotel. My mom is, like, trying to shove a nut mix down my throat to get any sugar in my blood whatsoever, and she's, like, doing my eyeshadow while I'm passed out. And so I'm like, I'm fine. So I get up. I go back to the bathroom because the lighting's good in there, and, like, we're continuing to do my, like, routine and stuff, and then I vomit. I puke. I vommed in the toilet, clogged the toilet with my vomit. But the weird part is, my stomach was so empty, I don't know what I was throwing up at the time. To this day, I don't know what was coming out of my body. Highly traumatic. Finish getting ready, go to this audition. I don't feel good at all. I still haven't eaten anything because, like, I just threw up. Why am I going to eat something? It was a very, very, very hard dance call. Did not go super well for me. And, like, I was convinced I was going to get into this school because, like, this was my voice teacher's alma mater. And I was like, I'm getting into Hartford. I didn't, obviously. It's a very bad day. Did I learn anything that day? I would like to say yes, but probably not. I did eat a massive bowl of pasta after that audition. Highly traumatic, but entertaining. Reading and rating Shakespeare's canon in order of the historical chronology of the settings, Part 16, King Henry IV, Part 1. Alrighty, so we are 2 plays into the Henriad. This one is about Henry IV and his son, Prince Hal, who will later become Henry V. However, I will say this play is a little bit interesting in the genre of the histories because the plot is very much divided in two. We have the whole, like, political rebel plot with Hotspur, who's very unhinged, and we love Hotspur. And then we have the whole dominating plot of Falstaff being an absolute menace and being a bad influence on Prince Hal, who's, like, a bad prince. And I have thoughts on why part 2 of this play exists, which I'll talk about later. But Falstaff just, like, is a menace and funny, and he's, like, the worst person at a bar ever. And he just, like, talks to the audience the whole time. And while Hotspur's being unhinged and Hal's a bad prince, I gave this one 3 stars, but it's kind of iconic. Hello, today is day 15 of the Spooksphere Challenge, and I'm adding to the conversation about a character who is traditionally characterized and perceived to be by certain people in a play as monstrous. It is our girly girl Kate from Taming of the Shrew, and I would just like to begin with a word from Miss Taylor Allison Swift herself. Thank you, Taylor. Anyways, so Kate derives from a tradition of this type of stock character in dramatic literature called virago, which are these female characters who are traditionally not very feminine in the way that they are written. They act very brashly, boldly, loudly, largely, ways that women are not traditionally expected to behave. It makes them unfeminine, which is inherently problematic all in itself, but whatever. Kate is treated by every man in this play like a monster because she does not fit these traditional values of what a woman should be. However, all of these men in this play are abusing her, starving her, gaslighting her, manipulating her, and so I just would love to frame it this way for you. Who's the real monster here? Kate or the men? Thank you. Reading and reading Shakespeare's canon in order of the historical chronology of the settings, Part 17, King Henry IV, Part 2. Chaos. Falstaff still dominating the action and being the absolute worst and a menace, drunk guy at a bar. Henry IV getting sick. Hotspur, R.I.P. the homie, he's gone. And Prince Hal, still a scoundrel, didn't learn his lesson. However, I will wager you that this play should be renamed The Making of a King. Here we go. I think this play exists because Shakespeare wrote part 1 of Henry IV and was like, I have to write Henry V because, like, Henry V is, like, the best, but, like, how can we get Prince Hal to make sense as the great King Henry V? And so this play exists in order to bridge that gap of character development because he has this beautiful scene with his father at the end. His father is very ill. He mistakenly takes the crown from his father's bed. There's this whole thing where he then vows to be better, and then he publicly turns Falstaff away at the very end of the play, and that was very impactful, but the play overall, 3 stars.
Ay, she's a runner, she's a track star. She gon' run away when it gets hard.
Today, my cohort and I did a walking tour of London to see some sites that scholars think were home to some early modern theaters. It's honestly a lot of educated guessing, but our tour guide was really wonderful, and scholars are working really hard to try to fill in the gaps that we have in our knowledge of the early modern theater period. Right now you're seeing us walk through where the Blackfriars Monastery would have been the Blackfriars Theater as well, which was a indoor theater that was made famous by Shakespeare and his company, the King's Men. It was a pretty cool tour.